and welcome to the podcast today. We're joined by our good friends, Dan and Ed.
Hello.
Hello.
In today's podcast, we will be discussing the topic of identity.
It's quite a broad subject, identity, isn't it? It's especially in the media industry.
Yeah, I think identity is a pretty important topic, to be honest. It's one of the most important ones to discuss. I feel talking about it will hopefully influence others to realistically and really think about themselves a little more.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, we all separate ourselves from one another because we're all suited for different skills and trades, and I think we can really explore that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Dan and Ed, we have a few questions for you. I'll start off with the first one. What do you think identity means in your own words?
I'll go first then. I think identity means it's like what makes you different from someone else. Like if you are creative, that's your identity. If you are sporty, that's your identity. It's like something makes you more unique everyone else.
Your individuality.
Yeah, duality.
Yeah, it just makes you stand out more.
Yeah, that's what I think identity is.
Yeah, I think identity means what makes up a person. The characteristics, the interests, hobbies, religion, where they come from. Because no one person is different. No one person is the same. I mean, and
yeah.
So many pieces make up one person, and yeah, it's just how you are as a person and what you feel like. I guess.
So, what are the characteristics that makes someone a person?
I mean, there's quite a few, isn't it? There's where your religion, your background, your hobbies, your interests, your...
Yeah, you just touched upon it then, didn't you? So.
Yeah, and like education and like your work life, just like...
Yeah.
There's probably a lot I could list, but yeah, that's about it.
Anything to add, Dan?
No, not really. I think it's pretty much summed it up, really.
Ed's on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, though. That is basically the fundamentals of what it really is. In terms of you two obviously being on this course, a creative media course, where it is realistically a course that lets you basically shine your interests a lot more.
Yeah.
How did you get interested in the course?
Go on then.
I got interested in the course because I liked watching films and I just figured I want to make films for a living. I do think of good ideas for films.
Yeah.
And just hoping that hopefully I have the opportunity to make a living off making films, something I'll be happy with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a general interest in the media industry, as you said, Dan, films, TV shows, audio podcasts, the whole lot, and just want to. I'm not sure what career exactly, but just somewhere in that industry where
it's definitely the atmosphere of everything, isn't it?
the
whole
scene.
Yeah,
the whole scene of it. Yeah.
Well, that's it, being surrounded by basically your interests and your hobbies and stuff you enjoy.
I think that'll show that you are you live in your life, something that you have a passion for.
Yeah, it's basically a course that you can show you can show your passion for and really do well in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, what do you think the importance of identity is?
I reckon it's like I said before, makes you stand out as a person. Trying to think.
It's important to really show the difference from one another, isn't it?
Yeah, because it'll just be a bit boring, wouldn't it? If everybody was the exact same person, you have the same views, you have the same religion, have the same aspects in life, what's right or what's wrong. Everybody just agrees, it'll just be boring. Bit of yin and yang.
Yeah,
really.
Like I said, no person's the same, and it's great because being on this course, you can really go through it with the it's really outstanding.
But that's it though. When you're on a course like this, you basically you all need to be different anyway.
Yeah.
If you're all the same when you're doing a creative media course,
it's just what's the
it's
point?
not going to work.
If we're all just interested in making movies, what's the point?
It's just kind of, especially if we were all interested in making films and we was all interested in making the same one. It's kind of just we all need our own ideas at least.
There's nothing to challenge your ideals.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
And there's
and then if you do make a film or something, who's gonna criticize it? Who's gonna make points to help you improve your film or something?
The thing, because for as well, I think with all of us here being all into different things, but also being in similar things as well, it's kind of sometimes other people can get you interested in that specific topic as well.
Who got you interested in it? Like media?
basically, that's just always been my life.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, I think because other people can influence you
Yeah.
on your interest and your characteristics.
Yeah.
That's a great thing about it as well.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to say, like the person who got me into it is probably is with two directors, Quentin Tarantino, because like he didn't have to go to like film school,
Yeah.
and like he's got the opportunity to make his own films, and Martin Scorsese, like is probably the greatest director that ever lived.
Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's I probably mostly give it to my parents because they're film lovers and like
Mm.
you know endless films on DVDs you just watch. While I was a kid, you just had stacks and stacks in my house, and it's really good time. It really influenced me. Becoming a lover of cinema. Yes,
It's kind of like that in my house as well. It's like there's like loads of DVD. And I was like, I want to do that. Like there was like loads of them. There's like stacks, like literally stacks.
Yeah, just bookcases in my house full of DVDs and CDs and that as well.
Yeah.
I think for me it was really my dad that sort of got me interested in film as well. I remember I was a little kid. I used to make short little films out of like Lego characters or something.
Oh, right.
Anything I could tell like a narrative with.
That's basically like that's what I did. Like that's literally what I did. But
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, it was basically a mixture. Like Lego, for example,
Mhm.
action figures.
I remember when I was a kid, I'll make like little Batman comics,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll just like draw like Batman just like beating people up.
Yeah.
Like didn't even have a story, but like it is something.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, like that was it. Like making short films and then making short comics as well, and then even going into it. Because that's the thing. Like I've always wanted to. Like for me personally, it was always that idea of wanting to be an illustrator.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
I
that
can't,
would be good.
I
Yeah.
can't really
That's
draw.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's it. But I love each individual medium.
Yeah.
And that's why
I don't have like an agenda against
yeah,
one.
that's the thing
Like,
for me.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I love the whole of media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, that's pretty good then. But basically, to kind of elaborate, is identity given or created?
I said it's a bit of both.
Yeah. I
You
think like
Given
peop-
to you like genetically when
Yeah.
and then influences by other people
yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
Your parents, your friends.
Well,
Like
that's it. Like
Other
that's
other
it.
mediums.
Yeah.
You can be born with an interest,
Yeah.
but then as we said before, going onto a course like this, other people around you, maybe the new friends you meet, can get you into more things as well.
Yeah, because like I'm never really interested in like Star Wars and that, like Marvel. I do like I haven't watched Star Wars yet, but like, I do like watch Marvel. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I do, but like I appreciate it. But like I'm not gonna like recommend it to anyone if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna say like what you're doing with your life, like how you're not watching this film.
Yeah.
I think certain aspects of your identity are inherited by the people around you, especially like
Yeah,
your
that's-
family.
Of course.
That's it. You kind of take it and kind of elaborate on it for
Exactly,
yourself,
yeah.
for your own personal
You're
Yeah.
given
life.
you're given the puzzle pieces, and it's your job to do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
I think in the modern age as well, a lot of it with the internet as well, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
so many influences and so many
And there's so many
topics and that.
there's so many different social groups on the internet as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different places where you can express your opinion,
Yeah.
and then other people will give theirs, and then you can build upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like now, like in the modern age, you've kind of got both, practical and digital
Yeah.
Yeah.
social spaces now.
But the problem is now because like something that like you disagree with, they'll just like don't talk to you. They'll just like they're just like you're wrong. Like I don't like that.
I mean, yeah, there are
To say like
there are people like that. Though.
yeah, saying like I'm an atheist. You believe in God. You're an idiot. I don't like that. I think like people should have their own like beliefs, like whatever they believe in.
That's another thing you can elaborate on as well. As before, we were talking about how if everyone was the same,
Yeah.
there'd be nothing to challenge you. And
If everyone's the same, there's no chemistry.
I know.
There's no chemistry to build upon, and there's no chemistry to kind of form.
it's the
Yeah.
balance between having people that
Disagree.
disagree and
Yeah.
people that agree, and it's important to stay in
Yeah.
the middle
Yeah.
Yeah.
and draw ideas from both sides.
Yeah. Yin and yang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's it though. If there's no there's a difference between disagreeing and agreeing,
Yeah.
but then having that middle ground where each side is accepted.
Yeah.
But in terms of people who are like that, what you
I think
said,
there is a difference between like someone who disagrees and then like just someone just blatantly being rude to you, saying that everything you believe in is wrong and I'm right. I think that's just rude.
Yeah, well, like I said, they don't have the middle ground.
Yeah,
they don't
just
understand the middle ground.
They just have this agenda about everything.
Yeah.
Bringing it back into sort of a smaller scheme, do you guys have any hobbies or interests?
I watch like rugby.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy that.
How did you get into that then?
Also like growing up.
Yeah.
Like I remember like going to like Challenge Cup finals and like grand finals when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
It was like a huge part of my family as well. Like your brother used to got scouted by Witness.
Oh, nice.
But he did his rib, so like couldn't do it. Shame. It was pretty good.
It's like that's another thing as well that you've inherited from the people around you.
Yeah.
And you've enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, I never played it. I just like watching it.
Yeah.
I did play football for a while.
Yeah.
I was pretty good at that. Played.
Yeah, so growing up as well, with football as well, in so many sports growing up, because going into Goodison Park for the first time when I was like 6 years old and looking at the stadium, you just have a love for it.
Yeah.
And hobbies and interests as well in general.
Just like curiosity though, like are you born like supporting the club, or are you like have to support a club? You know what I mean? Like
I think it's just like if your parents are mainly my parents Everton supporters.
Yeah.
The whole life.
So like mine's different. I've got 3 brothers. My dad supports Everton. My brother supports Everton.
Yeah.
My oldest brother supports Man United, and then the other brother supports Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
I think with sports, obviously coming from someone who doesn't, sports and me don't ever go together.
Yeah.
But I think like in terms of sports, it is one of those things where I think when it comes to the team aspect of it, it is very universal, and that's where it collides back to where you agree and disagree.
Yeah, it's
you're in an interesting position because you're sort of outside the
whole
you're
like
scene of that.
So you're like a
look
mutual.
at this critically.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like I like, sports not a thing for me, but obviously I'm not.
You're not gonna say like
I'm not gonna, because that's not there's no reason for that.
Yeah,
like motorsports.
Motorsports.
But I don't like sports.
I don't really so keen on that motorsport.
I love motorsport.
Yeah,
but that's the thing though.
It's
like,
alright.
That's the thing though. Is it's like when you look at it from that aspect of you've got people in your family, especially obviously when it comes to your family and sometimes your friend group as well.
Yeah.
You'll all have different groups and things like that, different teams you support, different clubs and things like that. But that's that's the I guess one of the best parts about it, because you can have a good conversation with people who don't support the same team as you or anything like that.
The one thing I don't like about football now is like these plastic fans. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what a plastic fan is? It's like
I've got a pretty good idea of it.
Yeah, well, like you just disown your team, and then like just support another team.
Yeah, you just could support the big clubs and just.
Yeah, I think with you two, because obviously I know you're both Everton fans.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where, because you've been around that kind of club and that kind of symbol for pretty much all your life, it's kind of like I don't think you could do that.
It'd just be like disowning your family, really. Like if you just leave.
That's the thing. If you've been around, like, there's a huge contrast between someone doing what you just said, where they just disown it straight away, or people like you two, especially, who's been around that club or that team for your entire, most of your life. You've grown attached to it.
Yeah.
And to kind of disown it, it's a bit difficult to do.
I know.
Because you're so used and you gravitate to that team more than anyone.
And any other hobby interests?
Movies for me, obviously, growing up. Yeah, and TV shows and that.
Games.
Yeah, video games as well.
Yeah. I think that's like the new modern way to sell stories now. Like,
it's definitely a growing medium.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
It's getting better every year, really.
Yeah, the business is just exciting. Yeah. It's every year, it's just it's just big. It's just so.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, video games now are to a point where they're engaging enough to keep more people occupied. Some people now just completely gravitate to video games, and that's it.
Yeah,
and that's the aspect of it.
Yeah, it's like so engaging now. You get into video game movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
spreading around the medium of media.
That's
it's blooming.
That's it. Especially now, it's where I think more people are more open to video games now.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, movies and TV shows as well. More people are open to it.
Yeah.
And the different genres that is within those.
I think the stigma of video games of the past, of, you know, it's like, I don't want to say these, but it's like a nerd thing.
Well, that's the thing.
It's definitely worn off.
It's exactly like a lot of people. It's very rare now to find someone who doesn't really like video games.
I know. Just say I'm not so keen on that.
Like, you know, I mean, you know, I don't think people realistically, they never understood the importance of video games.
Yeah.
Because video games and films are just as important as each other.
Yeah, because it's
They
like
bounce off each other.
yeah.
To me, I think film is you are in the palm of the director. And
Yeah.
he shows you
His
story and his narrative.
his vision.
And with video games, it's your choice, and your choice affects the course of the game.
So it's like games like Red Dead, where like you have to make choices.
Yeah.
Like it's quite a good way because it'll show whether the character you're controlling is he a bad person or is he a good person.
That's
with
the thing,
with the decisions that he's making, and then you feel sympathy for him.
And that's the thing. And I think the good thing is as well is the idea of, you know, films, games, TV shows, and even books and comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single one of those, the one thing that they all obviously share in common is they're trying to gravitate you towards that main character.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they all do them, you know,
superbly.
Like, to a point where it's flawless.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about it now. I think more people can look at a game and look at a film and will, you know, they can see the contrast between the two but enjoy them the exact same.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So is there anything that you are interested in that you haven't done yet? So again, elaborate, like going back to what I was saying before, for the idea of you come onto like say a media course or people around you, family, friends, whatever, you know, if the things that they like that you don't like, but maybe, you know, again, is the things you're interested in but you've not really kind of slowly building that up.
Going back like movies, TV shows, music, I don't think I've missed out on any. I think I've just explored the whole, you know, every interest you can see, except like, you know, the few ones like books or comics or you know, just some little things. But general media as a whole.
For me, I think
every corner of it.
For me, I think it's this course has definitely like shown me that there's all different kinds of facets of these media, and to me, I think cinematography is something I really want to get into, and I really want to learn the intricacies of things like that. And I think like photography is sort of down the same alley. Because it's all about composing the shot, and it's all about making things look exactly how you want to see.
That's kind of it though. Like photography bounces off cinematography, and cinematography bounces off photography as well.
For me, is like a hobby that I want to do is like practice guitar.
Yeah.
Like something.
Oh yeah.
Why did you choose that then?
I don't know. I think because like I've just been like listening to like a lot of music, really, and then like I just feel like do practice the guitar.
Yeah. And it's like your interest in music as well.
Yeah.
Like your taste in music is definitely like it plays off the fact of the things that you are interested in and the things that you idolize.
Like most of the music I listen to is mostly like alternative rock and indie rock.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good way. Like guitar.
So another big one for you.
All right.
How do people establish themselves with their identity? Is it their beliefs, their hobbies? What would you say?
I think it's a bit of both, really, because like beliefs, like you're a very religious person, you'll like be very like dedicated, like to the religion that you're following. If you're a follower of Hindu, you'll believe stuff that a Christian won't believe in. Like you believe in that like cows are gods. You believe in it after you die. Reincarnation. Personally, I think that's what I think when you die.
I think with religion as well, like there's like, say for like a coincidence happens and it's like this shouldn't have happened before.
Yeah.
And you think from different backgrounds of people, some people would just think of this as, oh, that's strange, that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
How funny. And while a person who's more religious or more sort of belief focused, think this is a sign.
Yeah, they would think like it happens for a reason.
Exactly.
There's people who think everything happens for a reason.
I'm trying my hardest not to reference signs from M. Night.
I think it comes down to like where your family comes from and the people's background and beliefs, because you know, so many countries and so many beliefs. It's just hard to grasp.
I know. Like I was raised Christian.
Yeah.
But like I think because I don't believe in heaven and hell.
Yeah.
Like after death, like does that make me not like a Christian? Would that make me a Christian?
Yeah, because there's certain like how we picture things in our head. We think of we have like a pre-established thing in our head, and then we can look at that and we can think, parts of this I believe in and parts of this make sense to me, but other parts I can criticize and I can think this makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
That's it. You can kind of grasp it and kind of take it apart and individually look at each section of it and really decide for yourself.
Yeah, 'cause I think I believe in like Hindu, like reincarnation after you die.
That's it. I think like, you know, it's very universal.
Yeah.
It's a very universal subject, and I think there's a lot to it.
Yeah. I think that's the meaning of life, really. Like the end of it, like what's going to happen. That's the biggest question. Like what's going to happen when you die? Are you going to go to heaven? Are you going to go to hell? Or are you just going to be like reincarnated or transported to another universe?
Yeah. Have anything to add, Ed?
Not really. I mean, religion itself is a really dense and subjective topic.
Yeah.
And it's just like I said, from any background, it's just what your family raises you up to believe in, and what you know you believe in yourself from other people.
I think we've touched on this topic before about how we establish these things of our identity.
Yeah.
And we've touched upon it, how it's a lot of it's childhood and a lot of it's thinking and criticizing different parts of these facets.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's it. Like going on to the idea of, like you said, looking at your childhood, looking at your background, looking at everything where you've come from. That's obviously something that this is a pretty obvious answer. It would bring happiness to that.
Yeah.
But what do you think happiness is?
Happiness. It's quite like a bold question, really, because like happiness can be anything, really.
There's absolutely so many ways to look at it.
Like people will say that, like people say that happiness buys you money. People say happiness is like having a family, having a wife, have a kid. I think people say that's what happiness is.
And you ask like different people about what happiness is. Some might say that happiness is just a chemical reaction in your brain telling you to be happy.
Yeah, it's that idea of if you ask many people, you'll get the chances are you will get completely different answers.
Yeah, I think like happy life. People say that happy life will also be like you're successful.
Well, so there's many attributes
people most of the time.
Many general assumptions about it, like get a good job, and salary, get a family and kids in the house.
But really, it's one of those where realistically, it all comes down to what makes you as a person.
Yeah.
What provides you happiness? What gives you that aspect and that feel?
Personally, this is what I think happiness is. Happiness is where it's something that you want to do, something you absolutely have a passion for. You would die for it, and you live in it.
So that idea again of kind of connecting that to success.
Yeah, you're living it, but you're not miserable. You're happy.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's what it's all about. Like you want to you want your life to turn out and equal the happiness that is in your mind.
Yeah.
You set out your mindset. You know what you want, and eventually you'll get it.
Yeah.
There's definitely different ways to look at it and stuff like that. People, again, we turn back. People think that religion is the answer as well.
Yeah.
That like devoting yourself to a certain belief.
Yeah.
And that will grant you happiness. There's all kinds of different ways.
Yeah, there's so many aspects to it, and that is it. Yes, for some people, religion provides them happiness.
Yeah.
For some, it's realistically their own belief.
For people, it's money.
Yes, for some people, it's
just
materialistic things.
Like have a fancy car or something.
Yeah, for some people, it's physical objects. For some people,
For some people,
for people, it's people who want to live their dreams. Like people who want to be like live their life as a footballer. Wants to be a footballer, then get scouted. Yeah. Go through the ranks and then become a footballer. That'll be happiness. That'll be a dream come true.
That is it. It all comes down to what you personally feel it is, and what you
can't. People can't control what you want. If you want to be a filmmaker, you can be a filmmaker. Don't let people like tell you what to do or not to do.
Yeah, that's exactly how it should be looked at.
Yeah.
So, looking at this from the complete other side,
is
there anything that you guys are worried about that you in the foreseeable future, or maybe even further than that?
Probably just career-wise. Like sometimes you worry about not being successful enough, or you know, not providing enough for your, if you have a family or not. If you're not, you know, if you got a nice fancy house, or you know, nice big car or whatever. It's just it's just really complicated to.
If you're living comfortably and things like that.
It's just there's so many ways to put it, really.
I think I'm the same with you, Ed. I think it's like the worry that you won't really do anything. We won't go on to do anything great.
Yeah, and just like be a big disappointment to yourself.
Yeah, putting it bluntly,
Just got it through that.
I think that's what it. That's a very interesting question to ask, because again, just like happiness, asking someone what would they worry about, it's again, there's so many different things.
I know.
And again, the chances are you'll get similar answers, but you can get different answers as well.
Because
probably
there's different priorities in one another's life.
That's it.
Like some people view their love life as the highest priority, and if they don't have that, it's the end of the world. And some people view if they're not succeeding academically, that's a big nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's all about how you rank certain things in your life.
It all just comes down to your specific mindset.
Yeah,
your traits,
your perception of that.
You basically your overall outlook on things.
One of the biggest worries I have in the future is it's like medical stuff, like like diseases, like getting cancer, getting
and not keeping healthy and things. like that.
Becoming blind.
That's it.
That would actually terrify me. Because that's becoming blind.
The thing is like for someone, because there's many people out there who are obviously afraid of things like that.
Yeah.
Natural causes, things like that, stuff that happens.
Yeah.
But then obviously you've got the complete opposite of people where, maybe it'll go back to that idea on what you said, where it's like it happens for reasons, things like that. People usually just look at it in that aspect and aren't worried about, like going blind, for example, or things like that. Some people just, if it happens, it happens. Some people are, don't want that to happen. And, again, it's kind of interesting to look at that aspect of it, because I think, it's interesting to see each, person's view on that.
Yeah. I don't know about being deaf, though. I don't know about deaf. I think if I had to choose between blind or deaf, I'll have to be deaf.
You'd be deaf.
I could just watch subtitle films.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got the subtitles. You're okay.
Yeah.
If you're blind, you still get to listen to music, I guess. So
it's a bit of balance.
Just get the lyric music videos on. Look at the lyric posters.
Yeah. And that's deep, that.
Yeah, but no, that makes perfect sense. Well, that's good. But basically, another kind of aspect, this is kind of moving away from that and kind of going back to the identity aspect of it and the overall theme of media and things like that. But can phases, so that could be like maybe a certain genre in a film, or maybe music or culture aspects as well. So even, going broader than that. Can phases and things like that change people's, overall identity?
Yeah, I think so. Because if quite happy kid or something, and if you listen to death metal or something, you're gonna be wearing like black stuff, like black pants, leather pants.
Same with trends as well.
Face paint
in life. Yeah.
That's another thing you're on about there, where the things you're interested in, and that affects how you want to be seen. So you start wearing all these. Yeah, that can.
Your interest in things like that can affect, and trends, like you said, Ed, sometimes that can realistically, it can obviously have an impact on your appearance. You know, but might not have. And although your physical body may have that kind of change, maybe the inside doesn't change.
You think about phases in your life as well. I think how I was 3 years ago, and it's wow, I was a completely different person from who I am now. And it's you think about it, you're really just different people throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
It's like you're having a different mask. It's like having a mask.
Yeah. That's it though. I think a lot of people, some people are always the same.
Yeah.
Some people are always the same, but then again, some people change over time and find different interests in different hobbies and things like that. And that can obviously alter the future then.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that idea of thinking about the future.
I know, because if you're going to be wearing leather jackets and that, like wearing like face paint and long hair, you're not gonna get like employed in that. I don't know what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
Like in your life, like, are you seriously gonna like lead your life with just some phase,
and
just because you listen to like metal?
Yeah, that's another thing as well. Like how your phases will affect like the future, and how like that one sort of interest you once had, it still has reverberations throughout your whole life.
I think that's the thing as well, though, is when it comes to the overall actual use and what a phase does is some phases don't last forever.
Have you ever had a phase?
I genuinely haven't.
Genuinely haven't?
Like, I've always been into the same things.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been the same. I guess, like, phases, I mean, obviously I don't really like people who have that many phases, you know. But in terms of, like, no, I've never really bothered.
I had a couple of phases. I'm very prone to phases.
Have you?
Because I
have as well.
I get interested in something, and it's like everything. Like I have to know everything.
But then a while, would it be that it wears out later on? Or?
I don't think so. I don't think it wears out and then it's gone forever. I get interested in something, and then it just becomes a little bit like less part of my life.
But that's the thing, though. Is
it's still always there.
The positive aspect, though, of having a phase is the fact that even though it, let's say it does fade out over time, you're still gonna keep those main assets that you cared about, because there's obviously there's many phases, there's different phases that people can have. It's not just realistically one thing. A phase could be that you are interested in something and you pick up on things that you really enjoy out of it, and then over time you may just decide I've lost interest and it's not really a thing.
That's what I did with do you remember I was just like listening to Oasis like all day. I just gone off him because I just like grew out of him. I realised there's more musicians to listen to.
Just finding that more variety.
Yeah, just having a variety.
I think that's the thing, though, is there's definitely because there's nothing wrong in having that idea of listening to something, being interested in something for a while, and then picking up those aspects of it, and then later on you kind of just you dwell out of it, and you don't really enjoy it.
It would have got to the point where I'll just have like everything like Oasis based. Like it went to the point like on Spotify, I would just listen to a full album and then just like put that on repeat.
So for you, was it kind of just, was it you getting bored of Oasis, or was it?
Sorry about that, everyone.
Someone's phone ringing. Yeah, but I think you touched on that. It's just natural for any person, really. Because,
Who is it?
trend settings in fashion, music.
Yeah.
The whole lot. It's just natural for a person.
Yeah.
That's I think a good thing about people.
I know.
People change.
Yeah, that's it. And I think as well as like, even though a phase, like say if a phase does kind of fade out over time, you'll still keep certain elements from that.
You'll carry what you've learned from that phase.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Because like I say, having a phase, sometimes phases for people can be like useful. It can be helpful for other things. But then obviously the kind of the other opposite of that would be obviously having a phase to where you kind of
like you just like
completely different.
You can't control it or something.
Yeah. And then, but it's kind of just like
you do pick up like different like mood swings. Like you'd be like listening to like type of like emo type music, and then you're a bit down.
It's just kind of like I think phases are great, but obviously
sometimes it can have like a negative impact
when it has. I guess I don't know. I think one of the big things that I've kind of seen within terms of people and their phases is it all comes from mainstream.
Yeah.
Mainstream media is something where it doesn't feel. Sometimes like phases do not feel organically picked up.
Yeah.
A lot of this is why I said most of the time I don't like people with phases, because half the time those phases aren't organic.
Yeah.
There's no real interest, because although it's a phase, you still need a real interest in it.
Yeah, it's
most of the time you have to feel you have to agree with every single person.
With everyone else.
Exactly.
And, going back to trends as well. Like
going back to trends, like
certain fashion, like
so
back to music. Yeah.
They're the phases I don't like.
Yeah.
When someone genuinely, realistically doesn't have an interest in it, and they feel they have to.
Yeah, like if someone like before like Marvel was a big thing,
See,
like in the
that's
culture.
That's the best one to.
I personally I can't get into Marvel. I can't get into it.
Yeah.
But I do watch them sometimes. I just can't get into it. It's not
but
really.
It's that idea though.
It's not like something I would recommend. Like I said to anyone.
Yeah. For me, it's like phases in terms of what a real one actually is.
Yeah.
It's fine to like something and then over time just kind of fade away.
Yeah.
But if you was to follow the mainstream and have a phase but not organically like it, you can't have a proper conversation with that person
You
because
just feel.
they don't get it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they'll disagree with people's opinions for no reason.
Yeah.
They'll have to follow what other people do, and that completely dilutes the whole point of having your own personal identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, with
I think phases can be very damaging when it comes to following trends, following mainstream, and not really having your own mindset on it.
It's relying a lot on other people and what they think.
Yeah.
And what they think.
It's like it's not
new thing.
It's not. It's not your opinion. It's their opinion.
Exactly.
You're just copying what they say.
Yeah. And that's why I think, I think phases, when it comes to that aspect of a phase where you're not organic, you don't really like it, you just feel you have to.
You just like it for the sake of liking it.
That's not really, that completely defeats the whole purpose of what identity is.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like I said, in terms of more rich and organic, phases, it's whatever. If you're into something for a bit and then after a while you're just not really feeling it anymore, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that ties in with the whole idea of identity, isn't it?
Yeah, like
we've discussed a lot, haven't we?
It's different for every person. So it's like everybody questions about it.
And that's identity. It's different for every single person.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Everybody's different, and it needs to be that way.
Yeah, people can't say, "Oh, you're wrong about your identity."
Exactly.
Like, be someone else. You can't be. You can't just like change your identity like with a click.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't conform to other people.
Yeah.
That's it. You like you perfectly said it before. Like you can't. You can't rely on others.
Yeah.
You need to. You've got to have your own judgment of things. You got to have your own thought.
You need to be yourself.
Yeah, and it's fine to obviously share the same opinion with someone.
Of course.
Yeah,
but like you have to keep it distant from just copying them.
Yeah.
Like
make a different point.
Yeah, have similar interests. That's fine. Have similar thoughts and things like that, because there are obviously there are people who do share the same thoughts. But again, you can't always rely on that person.
Yeah.
You can't always just copy what that person does, because copying is something.
It's relying on people's judgment to shape your identity, because that's not organic.
That's the thing, and it doesn't.
Or right to be about.
Yeah, because relying on someone's judgment, relying on someone's views, relying on anyone, that's not yourself.
Yeah.
You're not forming any identity.
Yeah, you're
forming someone else's.
You're just criticizing someone else's.
Yeah.
You're not contributing anything.
Exactly.
You're not pushing anything.
Exactly. You're just all you're pushing is the other person's judgments.
Yeah.
The other person's values. You don't have your own.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to kind of, basically conform to your own identity.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, that has been the Identity Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us, Dan and Ed.
Thank you, Dan and Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This has been DYM Productions.
Thank
See
you.
you in the next one.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys.